As the ashes of World War III settled, the Soviet Union aimed to establish itself as a naval superpower. In 1948, it revealed its maritime tour de force, the Sverdlov-class cruisers. These modern warships appeared on the horizon, armed with an arsenal meant to dominate the seas. 12 152mm B-38 guns fired in powerful unison. 30 to 37mm anti-aircraft guns tracked the skies, and 10 torpedo tubes waited silently beneath the surface, fitted with advanced air radar systems and a sleek hull capable of slicing through the waves at 33 knots. The cruisers sent a direct message of strength and defiance to NATO. These vessels stood shoulder to shoulder with, and in some cases outshone, the finest cruisers from the West. The final ship of the line, Murmansk, carried on the legacy of Northern Fleet dominance, casting a long shadow over the Norwegian Sea for years. For a time, the Sverdlov-class cruisers patrolled the waters unchallenged, reigning over their maritime domain. As the Soviet Union's voice faded into history, the Murmansk faced a different kind of adversary. A relentless storm drove her into the icy grip of a Norwegian fjord, where she lay grounded and forgotten. That is, until signs of a mysterious substance, believed to be linked to the infamous Russian Federal Security Service, began to seep from her hull. Even a powerful warship, like the Soviet cruiser, Murmansk, was not immune to the twists of fate. But what if one intended to sink their own destroyer? That question forms the thrilling core of Operation Trident Fury, a compelling documentary from Melon TV. This action-heavy film follows a high-stakes military exercise involving warships, submarines and fighter jets all racing to sink HMC Huron in a dramatic ocean pursuit. It's a gripping display of naval might that's bound to enthrall any follower of the Dark Seas series. And it's just one of many offerings. Melon TV distinguishes itself with a vast array of quality from captivating historical tales and ancient ruins to wildlife behavior. New content is added weekly. A special offer is available now, a 30-day free trial by clicking the link in the description. Dive into a library of over 3,000 titles including must-watch features like sinking a destroyer. Whether on TV, computer, or mobile, Melon TV provides knowledge and entertainment at your fingertips. Use the promo code DARKSEAS to unlock this exclusive deal and experience the journey while learning something new. After World War II, the British, buoyed by their success in neutralizing the German U-boat threat in the Atlantic, took great pride in their naval superiority. Confident in the Royal Navy's ability to fend off submarine threats, they remained vigilant in protecting maritime trade routes. However, as a major trading power, Britain was also vulnerable to surface raiders. This threat had already proven itself in history, especially with the infamous exploits of the German cruiser Admiral Graf Spee, remembered for the Battle of the River Plate. These raiders, known for their speed, firepower, and autonomy, had the potential to devastate shipping and disappear before retaliation could be mounted. So, when the British and NATO allies learned of the Soviet Union's formidable new Sverdlov-class cruisers, alarm bells rang. For Britain, this was the ultimate nightmare: a swift, heavily armed cruiser built to function as a surface raider. While NATO feared these ships might wreak havoc on Allied shipping in the event of conflict, the Soviets envisioned something even more ambitious. The Sverdlov-class was the second cruiser line developed after the war, following the Chapiyev. These new ships were a key component of the USSR's grand plan to reshape post-war naval power. Alongside these cruisers, the Soviets aimed to build modern battleships and aircraft carriers, not just to defend, but to project Soviet strength around the world. With an operational range of 9,000 nautical miles, the Sverdlov-class ships were ideal for global missions. This range, comparable to the German cruiser Graf Spee's 8,900 miles, allowed them to patrol vast ocean territories. The British, recalling the destruction caused by just 2 German pocket battleships early in the war, had every reason to be concerned. During the 1950s, British confrontation with the Soviet Union largely remained political, sparing them a direct clash with the powerful Sverdlov-class ships. Still, there was a clear urgency to respond. British naval planners understood that the true threat would arise only if the Soviets succeeded in building a carrier fleet to support long-range cruiser operations. This looming danger gave the West a window to act. Rather than matching the Soviets ship-for-ship, the Royal Navy chose a different strategy: to develop a specialized aircraft that could strike both conventionally and with nuclear capability. The idea was straightforward: warplane launched from a British fleet carrier could fly low and fast to take out the cruiser threat. This gave rise to the Blackburn Buccaneer. Even as Britain rushed the Buccaneer into development, the Soviet Union doubled down on its cruiser program. Between 1952 and 1955, it laid down an impressive 14 ships of the Sverdlov-class, confident that this fleet would tilt the naval balance in their favor. On September 22, 1955, a major milestone was reached with the completion of the final and most advanced Sverdlov-class cruiser at the Severodvinsk shipyard. She was named Murmansk. Despite the Soviet Union's sweeping vision for a global naval presence. The commissioning of Murmansk ironically marked the end of this lineage. Her journey, full of ambition, concluded in a way that would later reflect the fall of the Soviet Union itself. Like her sister ships, Murmansk was a formidable showcase of Soviet naval strength in the post-war period. An improved, slightly larger version of the Chapiev-class, she boasted enhanced hull design, armor, and weapon systems, tailored to handle the challenging conditions of the North Atlantic and Black Sea. In terms of size, Murmansk was notable, displacing 13,600 tons standard and 16,640 tons at full load, and measuring about 210 meters in length. With a beam of 22 meters. The cruisers were larger than most post-World War II gun cruiser designs from peer nations. Their impressive size was matched by a formidable armament suite, featuring 12 152mm 57 caliber B-38 guns mounted in 4 triple turrets and 12 100mm 56 caliber model 1934 guns placed in 6 twin mounts. This primary firepower was both powerful and flexible, capable of inflicting serious damage on merchant vessels and effective in shore bombardment. The 152mm guns bore similarity to those used on cruisers like Ajax and Achilles during the Battle of the River Plate, underlining their strength as a light cruiser weapon. For air defense. The cruiser carried 30 to 37mm anti-aircraft guns arranged in 16 twin mounts, alongside 10,533mm torpedo tubes, ensuring a solid shield against aerial and submarine threats. The Murmansk was also outfitted with an advanced suite of radar and electronic countermeasure systems, showcasing the Soviet Navy's technological sophistication during that period. The radar array was a complex system built for full-spectrum surveillance and precision targeting. The Big Net or Top Trough radar served as a long-range air search system, detecting enemy aircraft far beyond the horizon. Supporting this, the High Civ or Low radar offered layered air surveillance by tracking objects at varying altitudes. Additional systems like the Knife Rest radar provided tactical air search capabilities, leaving no gaps in the ship's aerial monitoring network. For navigation, the DA-2 or Neptune radar functioned like a highly accurate maritime GPS, steering the ship safely through challenging waters. Fire control was managed by the Sun Visor radar, which directed the anti-aircraft guns with precision, while the Top Bow radar supported the 152mm main guns and the Egg Cup radar enhanced targeting for the smaller caliber weapons. The Watchdog electronic countermeasure system played a vital defensive role, designed to jam or mislead enemy radar and sensors an electronic shield that masked the cruiser from detection and enemy targeting. This combination of powerful anti-weaponry and state-of-the-art radar systems made the Murmansk a formidable force, especially effective in independent raiding operations or as part of larger task groups. Alongside her sister ships, the Murmansk emerged during a pivotal transition in naval warfare. a time when traditional gunnery was giving way to the missile age. Despite their might, these cruisers were born with a looming sense of obsolescence. The story of the Murmansk, like that of the Soviet Union itself, began with promise, but ended in decay. Launched on September 22, 1955. Murmansk was assigned to the 2nd Cruiser Division upon its formation in 1956. Her career, however, remained largely uneventful, limited to routine patrols in the White Sea, Norwegian Sea, and North Sea. The Cold War era, defined by tense standoffs rather than direct military clashes, cast her into the role of deterrent, more than aggressor. The potential for her to serve as a surface raider remained unrealized. Her operational capacity further limited by the Soviet Union's faltering economy and stalled military ambitions. Without a supporting fleet of aircraft carriers, ships, like the Murmansk, were confined to coastal waters, reducing their threat level to NATO forces. After decades of neglect and increasing irrelevance, Murmansk's journey ended, not with valor, but in a quiet transaction. In 1994, she was sold for scrap to India, marking the close of a chapter once filled with high hopes. But fate intervened during her final voyage. On December 24, while being towed, the vessel encountered a violent storm. The fierce weather broke her free, and she drifted aimlessly before running aground near Skavir, a small village on one of Norway's remote northern islands, an area infamous for brutal seas and harsh conditions. Initially, it was assumed that the severe winter elements would gradually dismantle the grounded ship, eroding her remains over time. However, in 2009, a formal decision backed by funding was made to dismantle the wreck methodically. Demolition specialists, AF, undertook the task, constructing a massive seawall and dry dock around the site. This setup allowed the crew to approach the wreck from land and dismantle it piece by piece where it had come to rest. By April 2012, due to the ship's advanced state of decay, towing her was no longer an option. The only feasible method was slow, deliberate deconstruction. With the dry dock nearly emptied of water, work commenced in earnest. The area surrounding the wreck was sealed off, and the dismantling process was soon underway. This sudden burst of activity sparked a wave of speculation. Rumors emerged about the presence of hazardous materials aboard the vessel. Whispers of radioactive substances, particularly polonium-210, a deadly element, known for its use in high poisonings linked to the Russian Federal Security Service, began to circulate. Some sources claimed traces of the substance had been found aboard the ship, raising alarm over a possible hidden reason for the urgency of the dismantling. Despite growing concerns and rampant speculation, authorities never confirmed what materials had been found aboard the Murmansk, nor did they disclose whether they posed a danger to local residents. In 2013, the operation was finally completed. The once feared Soviet cruiser that had long loomed in the minds of Western military analysts faded into the annals of history, leaving behind a legacy steeped in Cold War tension and the unanswered questions surrounding her mysterious end.